Hi, we're here with Professor Jochen Wirtz. And Jochen, this time the question is around the importance and the value of customer loyalty programs. I think everybody understands the value of customer loyalty in terms of increasing long-term profitability, sustainability, success in business. But what is this about loyalty programs? Teach us.
Yeah, I mean, there are many misperceptions in companies about loyalty programs. They think they build a loyalty program and they get customer loyalty, right? But let me start off with a very different question here. How much better do you have to be than your competitors to make a customer loyal to you?
You have to be better, but how much?
Yeah, I mean, think about it. I mean, when I came to Singapore, I needed a bank account. So I asked my colleagues which bank should I go to. And it was one of the worst banking experiences I've ever had. And now you think 26 years later, which bank am I with?
The same one.
Same bank, right? So and why? Because it is a lot of work to switch bank accounts. So switching costs are high. Plus, I don't really know, are the other banks any better? Yes.
Okay.
So, I mean, I never switched. Of course, my bank is a lot better today than it was then. But what I wanted to show here is we talk about competitive advantage, which you need in an acquisition market. If a customer hasn't made a choice, you have to be the best to be chosen. And we discussed this in the earlier session, right? But if you already have a customer base, it is your competitor who has to be better.
And much better.
Much better so that you switch, right?
Okay.
And I mean, this, of course, I mean, I look at here what we have two types of loyalty. Yes? We have what we call behavioral loyalty. That means where do you spend your money, share of wallet.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And for share of wallet, actually, you don't have to be better. You could even be slightly worse if there's switching cost. Yeah, you hold on to the money, right? The other is, of course, which people always confuse, is also attitudinal loyalty, which is share of heart. Do your customers love you, right?
Do they praise you?
Do they praise
refer
you
and recommend you?
And for that, yes, you should be, in their views, better than competition,
Yes.
right? So, I mean, in that sense, you're right. Should be a little bit better, yes? So, I mean, in a way, it's sort of a mix of both. But what I want to say is actually loyalty is a low-hanging fruit compared to competitive advantage. It's much easier to do. Yes, you don't have to be that much better. You can be equally good. And I do sort of an exercise with my students. I always ask them, hey, you're all customers, you're all in families, you all work in businesses. Who are you loyal to as an individual, as a family, or as a corporate, right?
Okay.
And then they all scratch their heads, and they can't think of very many companies. And look, you ask companies, they think they have loyal customer bases, but I ask you, and I mean, if I push them a little, then they come up, oh yeah, our JP, our general practitioner, our dentist, maybe the ladies say the hairstylist, and the guys say maybe the car mechanic, right? So it's a few only. And then you ask the next question, I always ask, okay, and why are you loyal? And that's the key question. And then rarely do people say it's the cheapest, or I get loyalty points. The comments that come is, I trust them. I trust the GP. He has my track record.
I
He
have a
understands
history
me.
with them. They know me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or the branch is around the corner. It's convenient.
Yeah.
Yes. But my key comment really is, look, to make customers loyal, you actually have to craft a value proposition for loyalty. Give people a reason of why they should be loyal to you. Yeah? So that is sort of the...
Now, that's the purpose of the loyalty program. So what are the core design elements of a successful program for loyalty?
Yeah, I have a very nice framework here, which we call the Wheel of Loyalty, which is 3 different steps.
Please.
And step 1 is the foundation. And that has nothing to do with the loyalty program. This is really segment the market in a way that you go after those segments for who you are the best provider. So there's a good fit in the first place.
Understood.
Don't indiscriminate acquire customers. Go after those segments who love and value what you have to offer, right?
Okay.
Let me talk about tiering of service. So don't treat all the customers the same. There's some with very big needs, some with very small needs. You have different channels and different solutions for them, right? And overall deliver quality. Yeah, so including having good service recovery when things go wrong. I mean, these are the basics. And to me, if you do these basics really, really well, you're 80% there towards loyalty.
Step 1.
Step 1. Step 2, we know customers in general are not terribly loyal. Why should they, right? So give them reasons to be loyal. And we call this, you create loyalty bonds. You tie customers closer to you.
All right.
And there's sort of 3 types of bonds. The first is sort of the basics. And this is cross-selling and bundling.
So that
Yeah.
they're getting more from you, you're a bigger part of their lives.
The more you have with me, the higher the switching cost, the more convenient this whole relationship is for you and for me, right?
Yeah.
That ties them. And I mean, one nice example here is the telco industry in Singapore. So I did a lot of work in telco, and the third entrant was StarHub. And they, of course, they competed on price. The first one was competing on network and quality. The second one on service. So what was left was price. Yes, and it's hard to compete on price. And they came up with this idea: why don't I bundle mobile, fixed line, internet, TV in one big bundle, and then discount the whole thing, right? And this, what they call this, the hubbing strategy. This was so successful because once you buy the bundle, and let's say one of your mobile line becomes due, you can't easily switch because you get such a good deal for the total package. Yeah?
The total package is okay.
Yes, yeah, and you just switch the mobile line to someone else. You're paying a lot more for one line. Yeah? And so what happened then, of course, that the other two competitors also started offering bundling. And what happened is the total market, which used to have about 20% churn per annum, went down to low single-digit churn. Why? Nobody is switching much anymore. And if the market doesn't switch anymore, price competition is less intense. So all of us have actually a bit of an easier life. Okay. Yeah. Of course, the regulators don't like that. So that's why they gave a fourth license now. Yes. But I just want to show the power of bundling. You can sidestep price competition on individual products. Yeah, that's step one. So step two is really give rewards for loyalty. Okay. That means, and this is what loyalty programs often do. Yes, you collect points, and airlines and hotels are very good at this. You become gold and diamond and platinum, right? You move up the ladder, and each time you get different types of service and priority.
More points.
And more points, yes. But I would caution the points, actually. People always are so focused on the points. Yeah. We know from research that in the hotel industry, maybe 1 in 5 stays is incremental because of the points, but the other 80% is not.
All right.
And I always see the points as a bit like a bribe or an incentive to the customer, because unless I have a unique identifier for you, how do I understand your system network-wide consumption? Because passport numbers change, names and addresses are unreliable. But if I have a unique loyalty program number, if you enter that, I know who you are. I know you book a room in New York and London and Singapore and Bangkok. I understand what you're doing, right, as a customer. But how do I get you to enter this number? So I have to give you enough points that you're incentivized to key this number at reservation, at check-in, and so on. So in that sense, the points only have to be attractive enough that you use the card and use it for entry. And then I understand you. And then I can do things like, I can understand, oh, you're a gold card, or you're a platinum, or you're a diamond card member. And then all the things come with it, right? And I'd be very careful here with what you give. Yes. If you give presents, so I had one client who gave pretty large presents to very valuable customers. Yes, it was a B2C business. And so we did this workshop with them. I asked them, okay, so you give this present, right? And yes, the customer loves it, but let's think about it, right? So the customers, it was for hobby. So they love this sport, and you give this present, right? Do they have this equipment already? Of course they have, right? So now your customers, they're actually very rich, right? They're very wealthy. Do you think they have exactly what they want and prefer that, or do you think they prefer your gift? So of course they prefer theirs, right? So what they're going to do with your gift? And then we discussed they give it away as a present to the nephew or someone, right?
Sit in the closet and never really be used and appreciated.
So the value generated is probably less than what you spent for it, right? On the other hand, you look at, for example, airlines. You ask them, what do you really value? And these are the things like priority waitlisting. The next available seat goes to me.
Yeah.
Priority access to your senior call center agents. The next available line goes to me. Things like priority check-in. I can check in business class even if I'm in an economy ticket, right? I have access to the lounge. So you ask yourself, number one, how much does it cost you to give priority? And this is one of the things has tremendous value. Yeah?
And yet very, very
and
low
has
cost.
Only training and system cost most of the time, right? And the other thing is I always ask them, if you give something, does it enhance the core product? So your gift is unrelated. but priority makes me enjoy travel with you more. Right? So you can see this is I'd be very careful what I do. And there are, of course, also soft benefits. If you're a platinum card holder and you have a problem, this signals to all my staff, you are an important customer. Right. Please take care of him. Yeah, please take care of him, right? So this is the second big category of bonds. Yeah, the third one is even more powerful. This is customization, personalization, also even what we call integration of systems or processes. And I mean, customization is very obvious. You're in a hotel. Do you like king or separate or high floor, low floor,
soft
smoking,
pillow,
whatever, right? And I only know that if I have your profile. And again, I need this little bribe of the loyalty card that you fill in, right?
Yes,
and
but now I can provide that third tier of the customized and personalized service.
Absolutely, right? And the next is, of course, personalization. There's so the general manager at the hotel knows you.
Right.
Yeah, so there's the personal bond. And the last one is sort of structural or process-wise, and this means it's so seamless how we operate. As for example, I'm using the same rental car company in Frankfurt and Munich. I fly a lot to Germany, yes. And all I have to do is go into the account, enter my arrival day and departure day, even the flight number is there, and my car is booked. If I go to another provider, they ask me...
You're just another customer coming from anywhere.
Yeah, and the first thing they ask me, are you male or female, right? Do you have a driving license? What's your billing address? What's your credit card number? What car do you want? What insurer? Da. Takes me half an hour to book a car versus on an app, 1 or 2 clicks. Yeah. So that's why every company likes to be on your phone with an app or on your website, because let's say I have an app of an airline. Everything, all notification, everything, check-in is on that app. Is very convenient for me, is very convenient for the airline. If I travel on someone else, I'm lost. You're
starting all over again. You're an anonymous additional passenger
rather
than Professor Jochen Wirtz.
Yeah. And I may not get messages about flight delays and other things, right? So you can see how you think about it is how do you create value? How do you craft a value proposition for loyalty, yes? The third step is the opposite. That's really, why do people leave you? We call this churn diagnostic, okay? Most companies have exit interviews. So you cancel your account. Ron, why do you cancel your account, right? And all Ron wants to do is cut the account. He says, I don't need it anymore. So exit interviews, when we look at them, they're typically absolutely useless. So what we do is, when we really work for a client, we go in and approach customers who left half a year ago. And we ask them, who are you with now? Why are you with this company? Why did you leave the previous company? And we have fantastic insights on what are the key churn drivers you have segment by segment. And then we can work on addressing them.
Fantastic. This has been a master class on the design of an excellent loyalty initiative. You can't even really call it a program.
Yes.
It's a company-wide focus of concern and innovation to actually produce more value for the customers you have, to retain them and to attract them from the competition.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe a last point I wanted to say, it's not really loyalty per se. You need loyalty of the right target segments. So you take a company like Singapore Airlines, I always keep joking in class, the core customers they have is people who don't pay for their own tickets.
Corporate customers, where the travel department handled that for me.
Yes, even they fly economy class, they pay a lot more for an economy class ticket than a tourist. Why? They book last minute, they need flexibility, they have so many reasons, right? So I really need to make these people loyal to me. I don't care about the German backpacker very much. I sell him a seat when I have a spare seat.
Right.
But I want the loyalty of those customers. So it also means if I craft a loyalty strategy,
it's for the segment that I want to retain, that has the profitability, that has the durability over time and economic cycles.
Absolutely. So I need that clarity to really drive a loyalty initiative.
Fantastic. Jochen Wirtz has written much, much more about loyalty and loyalty programs. You can find out more about it online. For right now, thank you for this master class in customer loyalty programs.
Thank you, Ron.